Hey, what's up, YouTube? Did you ever have an old pair of kicks you just couldn't let go of? I have a few, but specifically this 12-year-old pair of Air Max Wright that I absolutely love. The paint is peeling off and they're kind of falling apart, but I just can't seem to let go of them. I really like these, and for the first few years I owned them, I took good care of them. But one day when I was removing some scratches from the air bubble with my heat gun, I got a little too close and they popped. You can see the hole here. After that, these got demoted and became my gym kicks, and I wore them to the gym for years. Eventually, they got too beat up for the gym, so they were downgraded again to my dog walking yard work shoes, and for years I've been putting these through heavy abuse. It's no secret the Air Max Wright and the Air Max LTD3s are my all-time favorite sneakers, and after staring at these the other day, I thought to myself, I think these still have some life left in them. After 12 years of service, I can't let them go out like this, so today I'm going to clean these, strip off all the paint, and add a few custom hits just for fun. So stick around and I'll quickly run you through the process and see if I can give these beaters one last chance at life. But before I do, I ask that you please click the thumbs up if you're feeling the content, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more vids like this. Okay, let's get started. A few months ago, I made a video explaining why the Air Max Wright and LTD3 are my all-time favorite sneakers. I'll add a link at the end of this video and in the description below for that video if you want to check it out. This is going to be a quick customization, and if I'm being honest, I'm not taking it too seriously. I'm just having some fun with an old pair of kicks and some leftover stencils I had laying around. The first thing I'm going to do is pull the laces and deep soak them. While they're soaking, I'll start scrubbing down the kicks. When I clean a dirty pair of kicks, I always start at the top and work my way down. This way I'm not bringing any dirt from the bottom to the uppers. Once they're clean, I'll give them some time to dry out. I plan on swapping the laces, but I'll keep these brown laces and debris for another project down the road. Okay, now that they're dry, I'll use a couple of old t-shirts to stuff the toe boxes. This will help bring back the original shape. Now that the base work is done, I'll start prepping these for paint. I'll start with some cotton balls and this Angelus deglazer to strip off the old cracking factory paint. I'll use a good amount to completely remove all the paint and finish and give myself a clean area to work with. Next, I'll add a fresh coat of this Angelus tan called Play in the Sand. I'll add about 3 coats until I have a solid, consistent coat of paint around the midsole. This takes time and a pretty steady hand, but with a little practice, it's easy and somewhat relaxing to do. In between each coat, I'll use my heat gun to dry the paint and speed up the process. Rage on that beat, going crazy. The midsoles are looking good, so next I'll start taping off the uppers using this masking tape. This will protect the uppers from any paint splash or mistakes that I make. I'll also tape off the air units to avoid any paint getting on them. Now that I've added a base tan and taped these off, I could just add some dark brown to the top of the midsole and make these look original again, but instead I'm going to try something a little different and test out these Gucci stencils I've had sitting in my drawer for 2 years. I've never used this stencil on kicks before, so it's going to be a learning experience. Unfortunately, the stencil's not long enough to wrap all the way around the midsole, so I'll have to cut it in strips and do my best to align everything. To start, I'll have to pluck out every piece of this step and repeat logo before I can lay it down on the midsole. This is a tedious process and takes a bit of time and patience. Okay, now that that's done, I'll start applying this stencil to the kicks. While I'm doing this, I have to say, props to all those hardcore sneaker customizers out there, because applying these stencils is really challenging and the tape is unforgiving. I can already see a few spots where I messed up. Hopefully it won't be noticeable when I'm done. Okay, I've got my pattern wrapped completely around both kicks and everything is taped off. I was going to paint the G's using this Angelus brown sneaker paint, but since these are beaters and I'm just experimenting, I'm going to speed things up and use this brown Rust-Oleum spray paint. I'm not sure how durable this paint will be on a midsole, but we'll soon find out. I'm going to take the kicks outside so I don't have to breathe in this spray paint and lay down some light coats. You don't want to lay this down too thick because it will seep into the stencil and create a huge mess. So I'm taking my time laying down multiple coats. Once it's done, I'll hit it again with my heat gun. Alright, here it is. Now the moment of truth. It's time to peel off the tape and stencils. There's a lot of tape on here, so I'm going to have to take my time. Also, peeling this stencil off is harder than I thought. To avoid a bigger mess, I'm going to use my razor blade to help me remove it from the shoe. let's see how we did. Alright, it's not so bad, but I do see a bunch of mistakes. But with any stencil work, there's always going to be some touch-ups needed, so I'll go around with a fine paintbrush and try to clean up any of these imperfections. I'm not worrying too much about quality control here because, again, these are already over 12 years old with cracked uppers, a worn-down outsole, and a popped air unit. So they'll still be my beaters, just with a little more style. Okay, I did my best, and while it's far from perfect, I do have to admit, these look pretty cool. And it's not too bad for an old pair that was ready for the trash. I like these original brown laces, but just for fun, I'm going to add these weird pink laces I took off my Nike by You fragment lows I created a few months back. I'll also add a link to that video in the description below if you want to check it out. As a final touch, I did my best to clean up and repaint the Nike logo on the heel. And I'm done. Here's how they looked when I started, and here's the end result. Not my best work, but considering what these looked like yesterday and the fact that I already got 12 years of hardcore use out of them, it's pretty good and I could technically wear these out if I wanted. I'm still going to use these as my housework / dog walking sneakers, but now I'll be doing it with a little bit of Italian style. Why not? In conclusion, this was a fun experiment and it was a learning experience. They came out fun and kind of funky, but I don't think I'm going to be wearing these to any parties. I'm also interested to see how well this paint holds up under stress. Time will tell, but in any case, I had a lot of fun making these. I know these are just a cheap pair of relatively destroyed 12-year-old kicks, but for some reason, I just wasn't ready to let go of them. Now that they've had their refresh, I could easily get another 5 years out of these. So that's my restoration, customization on my busted 12-year-old Air Max Wrights. Let me know what you think of these. Would you wear them, or did I just take a busted pair of kicks and make them worse? Let me know in the comments below. Sometimes I get in my head and kind of lose touch of what looks good and what doesn't, so I do welcome all opinions. Anyway, as always, before I go, I ask that you please click the thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you would like to see more, and click the notification bell to stay up to date on my latest videos. I would appreciate it, and it would definitely help the channel. Also, feel free to visit me on Instagram at E21Life for other random content. As always, thank you all for watching, and until next time, stay safe everyone. Peace. Rage on that beat, going crazy.